Hey guys, this is Nathan from Bueno Games bringing you my class review and comparison from the Destiny beta. Now, I've been playing this game for the last week or so. Well, not a week, it's only been out for about 4 days, but I've been playing it constantly, and I've gotten all 3 main classes up to level 8, which is the max of the beta. Now, if you haven't seen anything from Destiny, there are 3 main classes, and those classes are the Titan, Hunter, and the Warlock. Now in this video I'm going to be comparing their strengths and weaknesses, and I am going to be finding out which one suits which playstyle. And before I do that, I have to warn you guys, this video has a huge disclaimer. I know that my opinion is not 100% accurate, but I have had a lot of experience with the game. I've put in at least 10 hours, I know. That's pretty bad for a beta. It's pretty nerdy. But I am trying to do this for you guys. I wanted to get all 3 classes up to level 8, and I just want to help you guys out whenever the full game releases. So without further ado, and to stop me from rambling, I'll go ahead and start the review now. Okay guys, now I've tried to water down these categories as much as possible, but I think I've gotten them to a pretty good standpoint. I have 4 major categories on which I will be comparing and reviewing these classes. The first one is the grenade effectiveness, the double jump ability, the melee ability, and then the super move. Now what I'm going to do in comparison is I'm going to take the best class that performs the best in the category and give it 1 point. And then at the end of the review, the class with the most points will theoretically be the best class. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with the first category, grenade effectiveness. I'm going to start us off with the first class, the Titan. Now, this class has a grenade where it has a large blast radius that does a lot of damage, and it also does a blinding effect. Now, as you can see, it completely destroyed the first enemy there, but it was standing pretty much on top of it. That can be expected with any grenade. But the second one was a pretty good distance away, and the blast radius took out about, I'd say, 95% of its health. But what really makes this a really good grenade, an awesome class, is the blinding ability that comes with it. Now, I couldn't really show it, but here's a little taste of what you'd get if you got that rolled into a room in multiplayer. Now, I know it's going to be a huge pissed off thing, how people are going to be so angry that people can just throw that in a room, blind them, and take out a lot of their health, and people can run in and one-shot them. But, I mean, it's a strategic thing. I mean, if you have the smarts to roll it in and do that, then all the power to you. Let's go ahead and move on to the next class. Okay, so up next is the Hunter's Grenade. Now, it has the same blast radius as the Titan's Grenade, but it has a different second ability. So as the Titans had a blinding effect, the Hunter's has a burning effect. It has a fiery explosion, and it catches enemies on fire for a short time. I think it's about maybe 4 seconds or something like that. Now, it doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it does some. So if it's like a close fight and you throw a grenade as your dying breath and it catches them on fire, you might just be able to kill them and get that extra kill and revenge medal. But the hidden strategic value, which I learned from only playing the multiplayer, is that it has so much extra value, because as you can see in the clip above, I was going after that flag point and there was 2 people just monkey guarding it, and I threw the grenade in and it did a whole bunch of damage, and I ran around because I was close to dying, and I recovered my shield, but the burning damage of the grenade stopped them from getting there, so I could easily run around and just pick them off with a few shots because I had more health than them and I could just take the shots that they were giving me. And that is the hidden value that you wouldn't really notice at first, but it's going to help you so much whether you know it's there or not. And that's awesome. Okay, so up next is the Warlock Grenade. Now, this grenade is very special. It causes a tiny amount of blast damage, and blast damage is the explosion of the actual throwing of the grenade. So that's actually what killed the enemy in the clip I'm showing you now. But what makes this grenade as special as it is the purple vortex-looking haze around it. Now, that will cause a mass amount of damage if you stick around in it. It will kill a fully health enemy in about 3 seconds. But the only problem I see with that is that it is extremely, and I mean extremely, easy to dodge. All you have to do is walk away. Once you see someone throw it, As long as you walk in one general direction, you're going to live. Now, it might damage you enough to be killed, but it's not the main factor that kills you. It's because you're evading and not focusing on killing the enemy. And I can understand how if you throw it on a flag, it could help someone kill them if they're going to try and keep capping it, or make them move to make your flag not be capped as quick, if that makes any sense. But I think it's the weakest out of the three, and that's why I think it should not be the winner in this category. Alright, so that wraps up the first category of grenade effectiveness. I think I'm going to have to give it to the Hunter. It was close between the Titan and the Hunter, but where the Titan just damages and blinds, the Hunter's grenade damages, continues to damage, and also has that hidden bonus of keeping an opponent's shield from recharging. And that's too much to pass up. I've got to give the point to the Hunter. So let's go ahead and jump on to the next category of the double jump ability. Okay guys, we're going to go ahead and start it off with the Titan again. Now, his double jump ability is essentially just a jetpack. And that doesn't really make much of a difference, but it is very simple to just navigate the map, and it gains a lot of height whenever you use it, and it's very easy just to put on the back burner. You don't have to think about it very much. You just do it. Like, you just move fluidly throughout the map. You don't have to think, oh man, I have to time this jump right. No, because you just do it. And I felt out of the three, the Titans was the easiest just to get used to and to not worry about. And in multiplayer, I felt it was helping me out. Like, if I was chasing someone down, I could take a shortcut over a building, no problem, gain the extra height in the situation. And I just felt it was very simple and well thought out. Let's go ahead and move on to the Hunter. So let's go ahead and talk about the Hunter's double jump. Now, it's actually exactly how it sounds. The Hunter jumps into the air, and then whenever you press A again, you do a second jump exactly like the first. Now, it's actually a pretty good jump. You can get much more length than you can with the Titan, but I find myself tapping A twice and then falling to my death. And I think a game or a class where you have to think about how you jump instead of just doing it fluidly and then seeing if there's enemies around the corner is sort of a hard decision for me to make, because I don't think that's equally as good as the Titans, because with the Titan you can just do it without thinking about it and then you're there ready to fight. But with the Hunter, I have to face that direction, make sure I get it right, then land and turn to my enemies, in which I could already be being shot at and dead. And I think that's a deal breaker for it, and I think that's why I'm not going to let it win this category. But let's go ahead and jump over to the Warlock footage. Alright, so here is the Warlock's double jump. Now, the double jump for the Warlock isn't necessarily like a second jump. It's more of like a glide in the direction you were sort of thing. So if you jump up and press it at the peak of your jump, you're just going to like stay there and not gain very much more height. But if you do it with a running start, like you can see in the clip, you're going to gain a tiny bit of height and some pretty good distance. But out of the three, I have to say that this is my least favorite thing, because it's very hard to get used to, and I just don't like the way it works. I love the Warlock class personally, but I just do not like the double jump feature. So that's basically all I have to say on it. Okay, well with that, that's going to wrap up category 2. And I have to say this one is obviously going to the Titan. It is such an easy thing to add in. You don't have to worry about it. It's just something you can put on the back burner and focus on what is in front of you in multiplayer, and it's easy just to control and to navigate a map with it. And with that being said, the Hunter is at 1 point and the Titan is at 1 point. So let's go ahead and move on to category 3, which is the melee ability. We're going to be starting off with the Titan again, so I'll see you guys there. Alright guys, let's jump straight into it here. This is the Titan's melee ability. Now basically what it is the normal melee, but with an electrified version. So basically you still have to get up close and personal to use it. It's nothing too specially different. I think it does add a tiny bit of damage. It takes off a full bar of health, as you can see in the clip above me. I shot the guy's shield down and just hit him right in the face with that hook, and it decked him out and it disintegrated his body, which I think is pretty cool, but it doesn't really add anything to the ability. And now it does take a few seconds off of the grenade cooldown, but I think all of the classes do that, so there's nothing too special there. that's basically it. Let's go ahead and jump off to the hunter. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the hunter's melee ability. Now, the regular melee ability is pretty much just a knifing attack. You have to be in close range, all that good stuff. But with the ability, you actually take the knife that you normally knife with, and you throw it for, I guess, a random amount of distance, just however far you want to throw it, and you can aim it, just like you normally would. But it actually does the same amount of damage, but it adds so much because you don't have to be up close and personal to actually do the melee. And as you can see in the clip I'm showing now, I actually chained together a few kills by using it, where in a normal, event, I guess, I would have gotten completely demolished by these three guys, but I took out two of them with me. And I think that's pretty cool that it's a completely different variation of the melee instead of the Titans, where it's just the same thing, but just a tad bit more damage, and you have to be in the same range. It doesn't really change how you use it. It just has a little bit more damage. Yeah, I think it puts it over the Titans a little bit. Let's move on to the Warlocks. Alright, so here is the Warlocks melee ability. Now, basically what it is, it's basically the same as the Titans, where it's the exact same range, everything's the same action and everything, but it just does slightly more damage. As you can see in the clip, I'm just trying to capture this flag, and this guy walks up, and I hit him with the special melee, and it takes out about a bar and a fifth or so of his health, which is a little bit more than the normal melee, which just takes out a bar, and I don't know, I just get completely smoked by the guy. Pretty much the only clip I could really show how much damage it does, effectively. I mean, it's pretty much the same as the Titans. So nothing really special about it, just normal. That's going to wrap up this category. Okay, so that is going to wrap up category 3. And I have got to give it to the Hunter, guys, because it's the only one that really changed its melee in any way, shape, or form, because it added so much range, and it does add some damage as well. I think I might have forgot to mention that, but it does add damage, and it's got so much range, it helps you chain together kills, and it's going to help you more rather than just adding a tiny bit more damage to the regular melee. And I think that's why it's got to win this category. But we're going to go ahead and go to the final category, the one everyone I'm sure has been waiting for, that's why I saved it till the end, is the supers, and these are game changers. So we're going to start it off with the Titan. Okay, let's go ahead and start off with the Titan right now. Now, I've got to say before I even start this category that all of these supers are really badass. It's just some are more useful than others. So let's go ahead and get started. The Titan super move is basically kind of like a Titan smash, is what I'm going to call it. He pretty much just jumps into the air, puts his fists together, and slams it on the ground, creating a shockwave or an area blast that is an insta-kill. There's no way you can live through it. It's just completely awesome. As you can see in the clip, I was kind of watching over a flag, and I was on top of the roof, and I sort of dropped the hammer down on these two guys trying to cap my flag. And you can see how that's going to be super useful guarding and attacking, because you can run into a room and just start it, and you're invincible while you're doing it. Slam the ground, taking out everyone. And I think that's really good, and it's going to be an awesome thing to see in the full game. And I love it. So let's go ahead and get on to the Hunters. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about the Hunter Special. Now, basically what it is you pull out a pistol, you hold it up in the air, and it bursts into, flames or something like that. It's called the Golden Gun, and it gives you 3 bullets, and basically if you hit anyone with these bullets, it's going to be an insta-kill no matter how much health they have. It's an insta-death, but it is a matter of hitting them. As you can see in the clip above, it can go really well, and you run in on a flag point, use it right before you're seen, take out 2 or 3 guys, and then you run up and finish them off, and you take the flag point, and like that. It's really strategic and amazing. Or it could go like this, and you pull it out when you see someone coming on your radar, and you panic shoot and you miss a few shots, and they kill you anyway. You're not invulnerable when you have it out. It's just a timed thing. It's about 10 seconds, I'd say. If you don't fire a shot, you have about 10 seconds with it. It's definitely not my favorite special, but it's useful if you use it at the right time, and it really takes some skill and strategy to use properly. So I'll keep that in mind. But let's go ahead and talk about the Warlocks next. Okay guys, here is the Warlock special move, and basically what it is you jump up in the air and you hurl a ball of dark energy, or dark matter, I forget what they call it in the game, but basically it's a basically insta-kill grenade, if you could think of it like that. Anything in the blast radius is going to be completely eradicated, insta-killed. It works on vehicles, people, anything you can think of. And it's kind of like the bossliest thing you can think of, because you just hop up in the air, use it, and you pretty much know you're dead if you see that being thrown at you, because there's no hope, there's nothing you can do. You're pretty much invincible in the air. I've never seen anyone get taken out while trying to use it or anything like that. But it has to be my favorite, because it has the insta-kill ability as the Titans does, but it has more of a range, and you don't have to be right up on the enemy and have your life at risk while trying to use it. And I think it's got to take the cake on this one. It's kind of like the image in my head when I think of Destiny. I think of the Warlock special, and I think it's going to take this one. So, yeah, let's go ahead and wrap things up. Alright guys, that's going to be wrapping up Category 4, and sad to say I kind of did give away the ending, but it's going to have to go to the Warlock. But let's go ahead and look at the final tallies on the chart. Let's see, the Titan has 1 point, the Hunter has 2, and the Warlock also has 1 point. So looking at this, you'd probably think the Hunter is the best class for new and unexperienced players, but that is not the case. If you're new and haven't played Call of Duty, Halo, like this is your first real FPS game to play, I would go with the Titan. It's probably the easiest to learn and easiest to get used to. The up-close and personal combat style of the Titan really helps you switch over from a third-person or RPG kind of game that you're used to. And after that, if you're kind of into the FPS thing, like, you play Halo, Call of Duty, but you don't really, focus on them a lot, I would go with the Hunter, because it's probably the best intermediate class. It's got high damage, fast movement, and it's got a bunch of range weapons that you can use too. So you don't have to be right in the middle of the battle to do a lot of work for your team on online or anything like that. And it's the class I'm going to be using personally. But if you're more of a professional or expert, I guess, and you've played Halo, Call of Duty for years and years and years, I would go with the Warlock if you still want a challenge, because it's got some difficult weapons and grenades and stuff like that that aren't going to be helpful unless you put them in the right spot. And I think it's going to be challenging for a lot of people to use that class correctly. And that's basically my review, guys. Please leave a comment down below if you think I did it right or wrong. Please show me your class description in the comments. I totally don't mind hearing your guys' opinions. Please leave a like if this helped you choose what class you're going to use when Destiny comes out September 9th. Please subscribe. I'm going to be uploading a whole bunch of story videos relating to Destiny and all the upcoming games coming out on the Xbox One. I think that's all I got for you guys right now. Please, once again, leave a like, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.
Jump!